Hello everyone, this is Johannes.
And this is Cinema.
And you are watching Board Gaming Ramblings.
And today we are taking a look at Mesos.
This is a new game from Cranio Creations, designed by Yaniv Kahana and Simone Luciani.
It plays from 2 to 5 players in 30 minutes.
This is a review copy of the game. This one is debuting at Spiel in October in Essen. Hopefully we will see you there. If you're going, we will be there. We have announcements for where you can meet us and stuff like that. Let's do that a bit later because it's still a bit away. Today we're taking a look at Mesos. This is a card drafting set collection game. You are going to be set up here for a 3-player game. You are going to, let's say this is the player order. You're going to take cards. I feel like a lot of games now are taking the turn order from King Domino and doing it in different ways, which I love because the turn order from King Domino is fantastic. You're going to place your people somewhere, your statue, and the other people are going to place them somewhere like this. And then you're going to draft cards. So the blue player now gets to take 1 card from the top, the red player gets to take 2 from the bottom, and the yellow one gets to take 2 from the top. And then you're going to move over after you do so. The first player is going to get 2 food, second nothing, and the last player has to pay a food, or if they don't have any food left, they have to pay points. And you can and might go into loads of negative points in this game. What you're trying to do is a couple of different things. You want to get different sets. For example, the blue cards are going to give you points for sets with different symbols and numbers. These cards are the builders. They will help you build buildings cheaper, so you can get special abilities. You have the gatherers that are going to be helping you pay less food when the feeding events come. You're going to have the artists kind of who make the cave paintings. They're not going to be points during the game, a little bit, but they're going to be like a lot of points at the end of the game. And they don't help you with anything else. They're just going to be points. You have the hunters that might help you gather more food throughout the game. You also have the shamans that just like be able to do rituals and try to help you not lose points throughout the game. The game is going to be, you're going to draw cards from for the top. All the cards that are in the top after the round is over is going to go down. All the cards that are still in the bottom are going to go out. If there are event cards that you cannot draft, those are going to be triggered. So there are going to be events that give you more points and food for your hunters. There's going to be events where you have to pay food for every single person you have, or else you're going to lose points. There's going to be an event that gives you points if you have enough cave painters, and less or negative points if you don't. And the ritual is going to give positive points to the person who has the most shaman stars, and negative points to the player who has the least of them. You're going to continue doing that until you have played 3 ages. Not really a huge difference between them, although that a couple of buildings, more different buildings are going to come out, depending on the player order, the player number, a different number of them. And at the end, you're going to count up your points. You're going to get some points for the different scoring cards. Some of the characters are going to get points at the end, and the player with the most points is going to be the winner of Mesos. Let's talk a bit about the things you can see with your eyes and hear with your ears, or only the things you can see with your eyes.
Yes, I luckily don't hear much from these components. That would be weird, but I can see them. And I think it looks really nice. I love the colors on these. It's like a lot of blue, turquoise, and these orange tones, and I think that like all of these different colors are easy to distinguish, and it looks really nice.
I think it's kind of weird. Like, I don't think about the theme when I play the game, but it makes it feel like it's on point with the theme. It's not like a neon blue. It's like all of these colors feels like they fit into this kind of theme. Another thing I like, which is like something that you didn't have to do, but you will have like all the characters of this type. It's not the same art. They are similar, but like there might be a man with a beard, or there might be this person. Like there's different nuances on them.
Yes, you can kind of see it. I've picked like randomly, and these look kind of similar, but that one has not a beard, that one has a beard, so it's like very small nuances.
Yeah, but it's like a tiny little thing I enjoyed while I looked at it. The game has
a rule book.
Yes, it luckily does. It has a rule book. It's very short. Like up here, there's 4 pages of rules. It's very straightforward. It has in the building card a description at the back. It has the setup, like it's a very straightforward, simple rulebook. I will say it's a good rulebook, but it's a very simple game, so it's not like a hard one to learn at all. And I will say that if you are getting the game and you're reading the rules, you will remember how to play the game after reading it because it's pretty straightforward.
It's also a player aid. It's basically for reminding which events that will come up, and the events get like more and more important.
Yes.
So there's more points on like
more negative points and more positive.
Yes, in the further rounds, and also the cards will sometimes get more powerful as well. And here is also the final scorings. I like this little reminder.
Yeah, let's talk about the playtime and the player count. We played it with 2, we played it with 4, I played it with 5.
Yes, and we played it from like 30 to 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And I think we played it with 2 players. That's when we did
30 minutes.
Which the box says. I think this is a game which very quickly goes over the 30 minutes that the box promises. But I don't mind that in this game.
I think you can play it 5 in maybe 45 minutes if you really want to. But I didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome.
No.
Like maybe a tiny bit with 5, but I would still play it with 5 because the drafting is more interesting with that. Let's talk about the game. I have to say, like we spoke about the events, I just want to clarify that all of the events are going to come out 3 times. So it's not like it's not random, all the cards are going to be in the game. And there are different number of cards that are going to be in the game depending on the number of players, but the events are always going to be in the game. So it's not going to be like, oh, but now randomly there was only one event for the hunters and you went for the hunters and that wasn't good then. So those are always going to be there. I really like this drafting with one caveat, but I'm going to ask you first. Do you like this drafting?
I do enjoy it. It seems like there's always one space that is superior. Do you feel like that as well?
I think it really depends because turn order can be very important.
Yes, for sure.
So if somebody goes somewhere and you feel like, oh, but I would like to, for example, go to this place or this place to get more cards, but I also really need the extra food. Or I need that because the negative points are going to be the first time we played. David from MVM, he did like a heavy blue strategy.
Yeah.
And like did not focus on food at all. And he had like 70 negative points at the end of the game.
Yes.
Because they were starving, like no food for them. So I will say that because my caveat for this is that I did not like it with 2.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I 100% agree with you. This draft with 2 players was boring.
Yes.
And when we played 4, but especially with 5 people, there were so many instances where there were very few cards here at the bottom row. And like this was a risky space to go for. This also, and this was very safe suddenly. This changed the whole dynamic. So I absolutely agree with you. I thought like this space was like, if it was free when it was my turn, I would go for that probably. Because like it's not lost, but you still get 2 cards, which is really good. Upper cards are usually better because you have a wider variety of things and they're just like, just come out. They're just like not
fresh and new.
Yeah, there's not like the second choices that nobody picked last turn. But I like this, especially like with 4 and 5 that we play with.
Yeah, I would like just now say that I do not recommend this game for 2 people. Like I liked it a lot with 4 and 5, spoiler alert, but with 2, it was like a completely different game. And it took out all the tension. It took out like it was just like, let's take 2 cards each every round. Because, okay, I'm second now. Okay, maybe I have to go first now to get that second food. Maybe that like was one time I was like, oh, I have to go there to be able to be first next time. But other than that, I
didn't like it with 2. And also this one was way too swingy with 2 because like it's you either have the most or either have the least. It's no in between, which it is with more players. It also is cool that when you play with 5 players, there's also an additional slots where it's just like you just get a lot of food. You don't pick a card at all, you just get a lot of food. And I like that. Sometimes you really need some food.
Yeah, if you are lost and there's really not much left or something you really want to, and you're like, you're going to be first and you're going to get that bone, you're going to get that food and the food for going there first. I enjoyed the fact that this is a very light drafting game, But because of the tension of this, you're not always going to get the things you want. All the different colors kind of gives you a different reason to take them.
Yeah.
You can go for like, the first time we played, I went for like a super heavy strategy of getting the builders, so I could build like a lot of buildings for free, which was really helpful when all of the other people like are trying to get food but didn't get enough food. But that can be like, if somebody then goes for a hunter strategy, they might have a lot of food, so they can also buy the buildings before you manage to build them. And then you want the gatherers so that you will pay less food, because sometimes it's hard to get food. If other people are taking the hunters, it's going to be hard to get enough food. So there's like different reasons to take the different cards. I enjoyed both the tacticalness of, okay, do you really want that? And it's super helpful for you. Maybe I just take this now, because the hunters that don't have like the food symbol here, it's not going to give you food. It's just going to bank up your like the more food you get. So this is going to be more of an, oh, I will take this now. It gives me a food and takes away the possibility for you to get that
like
food.
8 food, yeah.
So I really enjoyed both that and the strategy of trying to make the sets, trying to go for scorings, because the balance of now versus later.
Yeah, and especially because you don't know exactly when the scorings come out, but you always have one turn of planning for them. I love that. So you first see them come up here, and you know that the next round they're going to be triggered, and that also affects how you play, because you might not need that yellow card right now, but you see next round, if you don't get it, you're gonna lose a lot of points. So therefore, I'm making another decision that I would have made if it wasn't that scoring right now.
And I felt, if you agree, I felt that different paths were viable.
Yes.
It was not like, oh, if you go for all the blue cards, you're gonna win. Because also you might be blocking and getting things from each other. Again, a reason for the multiplayer to be better than the 2-player. Did you feel that's what like the different paths you can go for?
Absolutely.
I've seen different things win, basically. It doesn't be like, oh, a heavy building strategy will always win, or a heavy this kind of strategy will always win.
I agree. And even though you don't get a lot of more cards with more people, there is more cards on the display, which means that you have more to choose from. So it might be easier to go for some strategies when you play with more people than less.
Yeah, and also the feeding here can be brutal.
Oh, like yeah, for sure.
It's a hard thing to get all the food you need to feed all your people every time it's your turn to do that. But I enjoyed that tension of the game, and especially again with more people.
Yeah, like for example, the last game that we played, the last round, this is -3 per person that you don't feed. I basically bought a building for the food I had. It netted me -1 point because I couldn't feed my people. So
that is less than more points, and more points is better than less points. So who do you think this game is for, and what do you think is the way to it?
I think this is a light game, and I think if you like set collection and also like the drafting mechanism from King Domino with the queue system, and also want some like player interaction in how the events focus on each other and some majority, and maybe you draft a little hate drafting and such, you might like this game.
Yeah, I will recommend it for the higher player count. Like we haven't played 3, but both 4 and 5 are player counts that I would be happy to play this game with. So are you ready to do some final thoughts?
Yes.
Before that, if you are getting any value of the videos we are doing, you can help us out in a big way. It's very simple for you, but it means a lot. It actually means so much to us if you would give us a victory point.
And we get victory points when you click that subscribe button. You can also click the bell to get notifications every time we post a new video.
Final thoughts time for Mesos.
I really enjoyed it. I like all the concepts in this game. I have enjoyed focusing on the different cards from time to time, and like everything is good. You think at the beginning of the game, I'm going to go for all the blue things, and then people take them, and you have to like, okay, new plan. I'm gonna do this now, and then you kind of have a good thing going on, and then you have to feed your people, and you get loads of negative points. So, and also this is very interesting. This is basically the game though, but it's so hard, the decisions when like, I can go last. I will get 2 cards, but I will be the last to pick.
And you will lose the points.
Yes, I will lose the points. So I can go here, then I will be first. I will definitely that card, but 1 card is so little compared to 2. That's double the good stuff. So I really like it. I'm going to give it a 7.
Yes, I agree with basically everything you said. This was a pleasant game. I We played this first in the US, and now we got to play it here as well. And I just like was surprised by how much I liked it. It is very straightforward, but it's just like a cozy game. Even though like not cozy in the fact where you might, there's like tense decisions, there's decisions to take where you're going to be like, oh, do I really want that? It will help me with that, but then don't really go for that, but it'll offset some of those negative points. And the drafting, especially as I said, like I would play this 4 and 5. I would be happy to try it with 3. I will never play it again with 2. I want to keep this game because I feel like we don't have that many games that give me exactly this feeling. I enjoy my time with it. I'm going to give it a 7 as well. A good game. And that's going to be the end of this review. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Johannes.
I'm Cinema.
And you've been watching Board Gaming Ramblings, and bye-bye.